You and Shaq got on Joel Embiid, and he responded, and he said you were correct to call him out. Honestly, do you think he was really inspired, or did he just say that to get you off his back?
Well, I hope he's inspired, because I think he's a very good player, got a chance of being a great, great player. You know, Tony, sometimes people try to make basketball out like it's brain surgery. The one thing you have to know as a basketball team, your best players, and I know this sounds stupid, your best players have to be your best players. They can't be inconsistent. Your role players can be inconsistent. That's why they're role players. But on all good teams and great teams, your best players always have to be the best players every night.
Well, let's talk about a best player on a new team. Jimmy Butler, of course, left the Sixers to go to Miami. And Miami, to me, has been the surprise of the league so far. Charles, which of those two teams in the East do you like better right now, Miami or Philly?
Well, for the playoffs, Philadelphia is better built for the playoffs. But let's be honest, Milwaukee has separated themselves in the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia, the Celtics, the Heat, they're going to have to raise their level. Giannis is the MVP so far. He's been fabulous. But Milwaukee has separated themselves in the Eastern Conference.
Well, let's go to something coming off Milwaukee. Because back in the summer, I'm pretty sure you and I thought that Malcolm Brogdon, losing him was a huge deal to the Bucks, but it hasn't played out that way so far. Why not?
Well, because Giannis he's improved. He's making threes. He's probably more aggressive. I think he was frustrated to them losing in the playoffs. He's raised the level of his game. If you look at his numbers when he was the MVP last year, he's better in every category. So I think that's been a big difference. Brogdon is a very good player, but the Bucks, they live and die with Giannis. Even the other night when he had 48, that wasn't enough. Somebody on that team is going to have to step up, and it's going to probably have to be Chris Middleton. He's the guy who's got to step up.
So I'm going to follow that because Mike and I talk about this all the time. Mike loves Brogdon, and Mike thinks the Bucks will miss Brogdon, particularly in the playoffs. Yeah. That's when he says that will show itself the most. Do you agree with that?
Well, I wouldn't say he's that great of a player because they lost with him last year. I think the Milwaukee Bucks probably, if they're gonna beat the Lakers or the Clippers, they probably gonna need to make a trade. Like I say, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference, but to beat the Lakers and the Clippers, they're probably gonna have to make another trade. But I've said this, if you look at the Milwaukee Bucks and the LA Clippers, the key to the championship is gonna be Anthony Davis. Those guys with Kawhi and Paul George and Giannis, they can match up with LeBron. But neither one of those teams has anybody that can match up with Anthony Davis. I've said this before. The Lakers, as great as LeBron is, the key is going to be Anthony Davis. Because like I say, those other teams can't match up with Anthony. They can match up with LeBron, but Anthony Davis is going to be the key to the Lakers whether they win a championship or not.
Chuck, still, though, I'm gonna belabor this point for a second because let's face it, we're going to be talking about this all spring. LeBron is so good right now setting up Anthony Davis and just sort of pushing him and nudging him and facilitating everything he wants to do. Aren't the Lakers still going to be dependent on LeBron come springtime?
Yeah, but see, there's some bad matchups for LeBron. You know, the Clippers got those two guys, Paul George and Kawhi. So LeBron's going to have to guard those guys, and those are probably the two best perimeter defenders in the world. So at his age, by the time he gets to play the Clippers, I don't know how much he's going to have left in the tank. As great as he is, Kawhi's a handful, Paul George is a handful, and he's got to guard them. He got to chase those guys on the other end. That's why I say nobody has a matchup for Anthony Davis. To me, he's going to be the guy because LeBron's going to have his hands full with Kawhi, and then when he get tired of Kawhi, they're going to throw Paul George on him. And, hey, that's a full-time meal right there, them two boys.
You and I both said last year we would take DeAndre Ayton first in the draft, but is it time for us to eat a little bit of crow because DONCIC is playing so well?
Well, let me just I'm thinking of a word, Mike. We were just wrong. Just flat out wrong. Listen, DONCIC has been an unbelievable revelation and a surprise. Last year winning Rookie of the Year, and this year he came back even better. And the thing I love about his game the most, a lot of guys go out there and just jack it up all night, get a lot of points, but this guy is getting a triple-double, getting a lot of rebounds. That's what makes him a complete player. But the word you're thinking of, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Thank you, Chuck. Pleasure to have you.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, guys. Thank y'all. Happy holidays.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.